Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be reviewing Transformers Masterpiece Streak, which is a knockoff of the official BLUEstreak Masterpiece. I am not sure why, but BLUEstreak is the silver version of this character, while SilverStreak is the blue version. Make it make sense! Alright, so we're starting off with the trading card slash feats card, and it looks great, it's shiny, MP18, and here are the instructions. And luckily they're also not too long, which I was expecting long because it's a masterpiece, but front is just weapons, and then the back is transformation from vehicle to robot mode. Alright, so we're going to cut this open to reveal the car, which is very shiny on the first look. His weapon, and some bonus shoulder weapons, which are not featured on the box, or in the instructions actually. And I did notice it doesn't really roll, and that's due to the arms that are folded inside the cockpit. So we're going straight into the transformation here. We're going to take out the arms, and we're going to be unfolding them. And then the next step is to open up the hood of the car. So pushing it from underneath really helps out with this. Next, we're going to open up this little chest piece here to allow us to take out the head. It will sort of click into place once it's fully pushed out. Then we'll push the side of the car, the top of where the wheels were standing, inside, and as you can see, you need to fold them over to fit them inside those little tiny slots. And once they're securely inside, you can open up the car doors and then sort of fold them out for the little wing effect that this character has. And then next step, we're going to fold down the front of the car, and it is going to tab into that little chest piece that we folded down earlier. But before that, let's make sure that our arms are in place. And boom, so you're going to push that upwards, and it's not actually going to go in this way. You're going to want to make it more upright, and then there's a very specific slot that we're going to point out momentarily. Actually, the first time that I was doing this, which is when I recorded this, it was very hard to get the thing to pin inside, so we're going to actually revisit this later in the video. So we're going to start opening up the legs, as so, by unfolding these little silver pieces after the black pieces. Then we're going to disconnect the legs, and then you're going to have to unpin this side of the car, which you're about to see here. There's a little triangle towards where my thumb is, and you just have to unpin it. It's a little bit difficult, but you just have to shimmy it and eventually it'll come out, and the more you do it, the looser it'll get. And then we just have to try to make his feet. So we're going to be doing a lot of folding. Make sure that little gray piece is sticking outwards, because it'll help build the foundation for the foot to stand on. Then we're going to refold that gray side piece that we took out earlier. And by pinning in, it'll create his foot. Afterwards, we just bend down the glass. Not real glass, of course. And then we have to open up his legs, because it's folded in to compress the car. And here we can fold in the hood part we lifted up earlier, and then snap in his back. Afterwards, we're going to rotate his torso 180 degrees, and it allowed me to actually be able to better press in the chest piece into his top, which you're about to see. Hand articulation, which is decent. I mean, for the size, it's pretty good. Knee articulation is pretty good, especially because you're able to fold it in multiple ways. And of course, we have his famous shoulder guns, which you can see inside the picture. You can take them out just as easily by taking off his backpack. These are the shoulder rockets from earlier, but we're going to revisit that in a second. because you have to first take out the little shoulder rockets as such. Alright, gun-wise you have to tab it into his hand. And then you can close the fist. And there you go. You have to tab it in sort of with that little extra space that you create when you open up his shoulder rockets. It's neat. It's very silly because it's too heavy to be able to fully stand by itself. There's not much articulation to them, but it makes a little bit extra pizzazz. Alright, so we're going to move forward with turning him back into the vehicle form now, just in case you had any questions or something wasn't too clear at the beginning. So we're going to fold in the guns, turn him back to a normal robot mode. We're going to open his hand to take off his blaster, and I believe it's easier to start just by doing the bottom half. So we're going to rotate 180 degrees, and then we're going to open up these little side panels, and then we're going to open up the silver bottom of the heel. Then we're going to start rotating his foot over to form the back of the car, and we're going to make sure that little gray piece that's sticking out is going to be on the inside of the tail light, or else it won't be able to tab in properly, as you're seeing me struggle right now. Once it's in, everything taps in and connects together, and we're just going to do the same thing on the other legs. We're going to fold over his knee and then fold everything together with the gray piece tucked away. Glass is open, and then we use that little swivel at his shin to bring the tail light forward. And then we can tab in the side of the car, but make sure that your knee is fully inside before you tab it in. There you go. Now we can connect the legs, bring down the silver pieces from earlier, bring down the black pieces, and disconnect the chest. Now we're going to fold the car doors to a normal position, open up the hood, and we're going to start rotating our arms so that we can start bending them and sort of crumple them down to be able to fit inside the bottom of the car. Don't forget to take out the top of where the wheel is going to sit that has the headlights. Then we're going to push the head back inside so we can hide it. Once that's in, we'll be able to cover it up with the chest piece that was difficult to use earlier. Then we can rotate this little red piece up and make sure that his palms are facing outwards before you fold everything back in on each other. And then you can just rotate them into place, having the wheel outwards, and the arms are going to be able to connect to each other. It can be a struggle the first few times, and here's a little tip that I'm about to realize. His little shoulder guns are not allowed to stay hidden away. You need to pull them out, and they're going to actually run along the rear view mirror. They're going to run along the entire passenger door, so I guess you could pretend that it's like a passenger, and then boom, you'll be able to fit the arms in normally, and then you'll be able to close the doors. Just a little bit of snapping into place, but it does feel satisfying. And then we just have to snap the top of the car on, and there you go. It's unfortunately still doesn't roll because of those bulky arms at the bottom, but the car still looks phenomenal. I do have a complaint that if you do want the weapon to be visible at the top, you have to pull out this little thing which is at the roof, but then you have to undo a lot of the transformation, which is really annoying, especially because you're kind of struggling to fit it all back in place. But then you can modify the weapon so that it tabs in there at the top. And there you go. A little goofy because it's a giant blaster, but it still looks great. Now here's just a couple quick poses that we were able to pull off with this. And as a side note, the vehicle is a Nissan Fairlady 280Z-T, which is a phenomenal car. Anyways, overall, I think I'd give this guy a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's great for its price. As a knockoff, I did pay roughly 40 Canadian, which is not much. Everything looks great. It's shiny. Transformation has a little issues, but we could probably chalk that up to it being because it's a knockoff of the original masterpiece, which isn't the best. Thanks for watching.